You know, I know it. Guys, I know everything about GPMs and PSI, and I just know everything about pressure washing. There ain't no question out there that will stump me, and I know everything there is about soft washing. That dude down there in the South, he don't know nothing about pressure soft washing. He thinks he does and all this crap, but he don't know nothing. And that guy from Alabama, he don't know nothing about anything. All right, I just being funny. Um, I I wanted to talk about. I'm actually on the road. I just got here in Georgia. We're down here at the Great Wolf Lodge with my family and wife, and everybody's going to be here while I'm in down here talking and helping out with Cody with training. So if you want to sign up, there's still openings, still a couple spots left. You can go to southeastsoftwash.com/training. I believe it's under training or Southwest, and you'll find it in there. But I just want to talk about, you know, don't ever, don't ever stop learning. Don't ever do it. Rather, you are learning whatever you want to learn. Don't ever stop learning. When you think you know it all, you will probably fail flat on your face really hard. If you think you know everything there is about pressure washing, I'm the best damn pressure washer there is, and I know everything about pressure washing. Bull crap. There's stuff comes out every day that's new. There's stuff that gets invented. There is stuff that you don't know, guarantee it. And so just keep learning. And the reason why I'm bringing this one is you're sounding like from the Alabama already. I know it, dude. Um, I've been in Tennessee for the last 2 days. I had a good time there. I learned a lot. It's not that I just learned. It's about getting around like-minded people. When you get around like-minded people, there is some amazing stuff can happen. You can come up with some ideas that could be $100,000 ideas, could be $1 million idea. But if you don't get around other like-minded people, that's probably not going to happen at the end of the day. And so we really want to get around like-minded people. And so the last couple of days, I'm just seeing if there's any benches or anything over on this side of the building. The last couple of days, I've been around like-minded people, and it's really refreshing at the end of the day. It really does help to grow your business and to get ideas that you can do is give. When you give and you help other people, you will learn by helping them. And so this is definitely something that I want to just hit on is you got to keep training. I don't care if you're listening to podcasts, if you are reading books, listening to books, anything like that. You have to keep learning, because when we learn different skills, and maybe we might fail at these skills at first, but as long as we don't quit and we keep moving forward, we can learn from our mistakes. And then once we learn from our mistakes, then we can move on, and we've learned a new skill. Now, do we need to conquer every skill that we need for pressure washing, marketing, sales, everything? We're probably not going to, because if we try to do everything, we'll be good at nothing. And that's most of the time what's going to happen. If we think we can do everything ourselves and nobody can do it better, that's when we're going to really have an issue. I need to market hardcore. Phone is barely ringing, like once a week. And this time of year, it's slow. It's slow across the board. July and August are always slow unless you are really ramping up your commercial work and you're really getting it done. So definitely make sure that we keep marketing. Obviously, we don't want to stop, and we keep doing it. But again, this is another time that we can sit down and maybe take a course. Maybe we, if you're in my membership, make sure that my Google My Business is up. Make sure I'm working on LinkedIn. Is there anything else on LinkedIn that I can do? Is there anything on Google My Business? Do we got our 100 photos? Do we have all this stuff that we need to make sure that we are doing good and we are being able to grow and be successful? Because at the end of the day, that is our goal, that is my goal, is to make sure you are being successful. I do not, when somebody fails, and sometimes I feel like what could I have done better to help that person out? And I also understand that this business is not for everybody. This business can, it's a lot to be a business owner. I've talked to some very successful business owners the last 2 days. I take courses, I do classes. There's a reason why I do it. I'm not even a pressure washer, and I still do it because I want to grow my knowledge and I want to get to the next level. If I think I know everything, you will never get to the next level. It's just the way it is. You have to, you just have to be able to move up and keep moving and learning and keep doing and learning and keep moving up and learning and keep moving up. And like I say, when we think we know it all, that is when the crap really is not going to be good for you. That is when you are going to probably start seeing failure along other things along the road. And so, dude, go get a pump. So definitely make sure that we keep learning. I went part-time and need business. I'll answer some of these questions. I'll scroll through here. I'm gonna probably walk back because I can set it on the thing. And so, but if you don't want to pay money, that's fine. I don't care if you pay money or not. But you know what I've always learned about people that don't pay money, and even myself? I have tons of classes that I paid $0, and guess how much I really learned out of those courses? 5%, 10%, if I'm lucky. When you pay money for stuff, it hurts. It's your wallet, it hurts. Now, have I paid courses for $100, $200, $1,000, and it's there too? Yep, I sure have. Jason Geiman has done just that. I have a Facebook course that I really wanted to take, and I bought it, and guess what? It's still sitting there. Do I need to learn Facebook? Probably better. Yes, I do. Did I buy it? Yep, sure did. Did I use it? Sure didn't. So just try to find stuff. Now you might say, Jason, but I don't learn very well. I don't do books very well. There is a ton of resources out there other than books. There's podcasts. And if you're not listening to podcasts when you're working on the job, I would highly suggest you get on some podcasts, not actually get on them, but download a podcast app on your phone and get you some earbuds and listen to podcasts, or you can listen to books, any of this stuff. This is information going into our brain, and we can take that information and put it out there and start trying different things that we might learn. And you might say, well, I know everything about pressure washing. Well, do you know everything about marketing? Do you know everything about sales? Do you know everything about AR? Oh, thanks, Ben. Always love the information. Yeah, like I say, I just gotten on this live, but again, make sure that you are focusing on, try not to sit there and pick out 10 things that I need to learn today. I need to learn 10 things a day. Pick one thing, start learning it, get good at it, go to the next thing. Because if we try to multitask and do all these different things, guess what happens at the end of the day? You learn nothing. And so, a lot of you guys that are pressure washing still on the truck, you got hours and hours that you can put earbuds in and start listening to podcasts. So you say, what podcast should I listen to? Well, I'm gonna give you a few. One, I would tell you to listen to, it's called Marketing Secrets. It is by Russell Brunson, and he does 2 a week, I believe, 2 or 3 a week, and it is very good. He goes over all different kinds of hacks, tricks, tips, everything. How to get marketing, how to go, and this stuff you'll be like, well, that don't work for me. He's working internet. Bull crap. If you want, I'm going to take one thing that he says, and I'm going to use it in the service industry. If you want large clients, if you want big buildings like this to clean, yes, you can find and get big buildings like this to clean, and big commercial contractors. What I would suggest you do, go right down and find your Dream 100. He talks about it a lot. Go find your Dream 100. Go find 100 people that you could network to maybe find out who owns it, how do you got to go about that process. And he talks very in depth what we need to do with that Dream 100. We just don't go, hey, we wash. No, you don't do that. That's not what you do. In fact, I'm reading his one book. I'm not reading his book because, again, not everybody learns by reading. I do not learn by reading at all. If I read a book, I couldn't tell you what's in the book. That's not Jason Geiman. Jason Geiman don't learn that way. Jason Geiman learns by actually doing it, or I can learn by video. And these are the 2 ways that I learn. If I can also learn by listening. I listen to myself talk. When I'm doing stuff, it drives my wife nuts. I'll be talking to myself. My daughter does it too. I'll be talking out loud, and it's kind of talking into my own ears because it helps me process what I need to do to be able to get it in up here. And so a lot of times, if people around me and I'm trying to work on stuff, I'm sitting there talking to myself. Why am I talking to myself? Because I'm listening to myself more than anything, because I'm an audible learner, and that's how I learn. And so just find a way that you learn, do what you need to do to learn it that way, and go kill it, guys. Back to another podcast that's a good podcast. It comes out every Friday, and I feel like I'm half the time learned by messing things up and learning the hard way. Hey, and that's a way of learning. School of Hard Knocks. I've learned a lot about School of Hard Knocks, dude. I've done my share of School of Hard Knocks. That's how I train people. When I say don't put your downstream injector in and aim it at a window, why do I say that? Because when you replace a window, guess what? I learned School of Hard Knocks. That son of a gun will fly right out there and go peek and make that glass go pow. And it's not a pretty sight. You're like, that ain't good. Hope that's not too expensive. Luckily, it was a little window, not a big glass hanging like this thing. So just when we're out there learning, and School of Hard Knocks is good to learn. This is why I always tell people to take courses. If you take a like you take a pressure washing course, and you do the hands-on, say if you come to Cody's tomorrow, or you come to one of my future trainings, I teach 3 different ways, and a lot of times that's going to cut your learning curve. Because it goes back to learning the hard way, or you can learn from other people's mistakes. And I would much rather learn from other people's mistakes. And that's even why I say whatever you need to do to learn and to be able to grow your business and be successful at the end of the day. Because if we don't grow our business and be successful, we can go get a $15 an hour job and make $30,000 a year. That ain't so hard to do right now, to find a $15 an hour job. If you're warm, you show up for work, and you do half what you're told, anybody will hire you, because it's just one of those things that nobody wants to work anymore. Especially when the government's feeding you $600 a month, nobody wants to work. So get off that soapbox. Again, just go find you a podcast. Go find another good podcast is it's Michael Seller. It is Social Media Examiner, I believe it is, something along those lines. It is definitely one of those things. He goes in deep. Jay Bear has a podcast talking about marketing and stuff like that. I always tried to find podcasts to learn about marketing, sales, and stuff like that. Honestly, once I got to a decent point that I felt that I could, pressure wash, I tried to stay out of the Facebook groups, because you'll get all the stupidest information useless information that you don't need a lot of times. Now, there is a couple Facebook groups that try not to, but even then, you got some Facebook groups that like to give bad information just to see what you do. And I don't agree in that. And so I do not like that at all. And I don't condone it, and I don't like it, because we are this industry. There's a lot of things that we can do. Profit First is a good book to listen to while washing as well. It is absolutely. And Russell Brunson has a couple books. Go check them out. They're decent. If you're trying to get off the truck, I Invented the Modern Age. It's about Henry Ford. It's a good book. It's a little bit long to listen to, but it's a good book. He kind of teaches. He basically made a car and never touched it hardly at all, but he was the brains behind it. And it kind of teaches you how to scale your business a little bit. Definitely a good thing. But again, guys, just, what I was saying before, if you go out there and you try to, if you think you know it all, you don't. I don't know anybody that knows it all. And I know a lot of smart people, and they will tell you they don't know it all. The only people that think they know it all don't know it all. That's just the way it is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to bust people's bubbles, but sometimes you got to bust it. So, do you think the potential slowdown of the economy, that it will affect the soft wash pressure washing business? I think it may a little bit. I think it's going to come back in the fall, and I think it will. I think it'll definitely come back in the spring. Once the vote, I think once November 3rd is over, I think it'll do a lot better. And it will definitely do a lot better after November 3rd. But the other side of things is I don't like getting political, but it is what it is. We really can't change that. Jason, can you answer my question, please? What was it? I'll have to go look up here first. Hello, I'm new to pressure washing. Should I get into soft washing, and is it dangerous? So soft washing, pressure washing, all the great things like that. It's all the same. Pressure washing, but you said you know everything. Pressure washing ain't soft washing. Well, you put a downstream injector in it, and now you're soft washing. You don't have to buy no injector, and then that. Pressure Pro. I'm gonna get back to that question about soft washing. Pressure Pro box. Are they worth the money? Are they worth the money? Let's see. Some messages, potential spam may not be visible. Depends on what you're wanting to do, man. If you are wanting to do a lot of flat work, a lot of oil, a lot of grease, get a hot box. If you're not planning on doing a lot of that stuff, then don't get it. Greg Harrison, he knows everything. Right. Um, he knows a lot, and he's specialized, so he knows a lot about what he specialized in. Um, and that's not a bad thing either. But I guarantee you, if you ask Craig, he don't know everything. So, but if you're going to do a lot of concrete work, a lot of gum removal, get you a hot box. If you're not, I mean, there ain't really, unless you're cold. Also, is soft washing mix dangerous, and should I buy it or make it? So you got all kind of questions there, Mass Dog. Um, but I did sell warm water there for a while. It is good that. Please, what's the best rust removal for concrete driveways? Um, you can use either Rust Removal Plus or you can use F9. Um, them are the two I would probably recommend. I'm not getting paid by either one of them, so that's who I always use. There's other things you can use. You can use oxalic acid, and that's really cheap. But it don't sometimes do everything. Sometimes it will only get so good. So that is definitely. Thank you, Jason. My wife said you are looking good. um, yeah, so I like my beard going there. It looks good on my fat chin. Actually, I've lost some weight, so I don't have all. F9 bark. Yeah, it's a Craig Harrison. If you look up F9. Hot water in the wintertime is a win for the wind, especially if you're getting into colder areas, because our chemicals that we use, the colder it gets, the less they work or less effective they are. And so if we can warm the chemical water up, then obviously that will help us. Gum removal, cold water unit, you will not get gum up. You will not get gum up with rust remove or with a cold water, unless you're just freaking red tipping it. And there is a way to get gum up with a cold water, and what you can do is go get one of them big blow torches and heat it up, and then do it that way. Don't let your wife lie to him, Ricky. No, I'm just joking. But that is definitely something that you can do to do that. I just ordered mine yesterday. I'll see if there's any other questions. I know I missed some questions up here. Does anyone not? Oh, that was. Does anyone not judge? Does anyone get judged by the appearance of their equipment? I want to look professional as possible. Dude, if you get your wrap truck and you get the equipment, it can make you look a lot better. But it doesn't mean it won't make you money the other way. Greg Townsend. He's in the back of an old beat up red F-150, 250, probably 90s, and he's starting to kill it, dude. How was the bull ride? I lasted about 40 seconds. I do have a video. I haven't put it up yet. I respect you, bro. I learned everything I know from you and Aaron. And me and Aaron was there this past weekend too with me. And we kind of might collaborate a little bit in some things that we got maybe coming down the pipeline of getting your business to the next level. Not starting a pressure washing business, but getting your business to the next level. Might be something like an 8-week course that we come in once a week, and we do some training and to get you to that next level, to get you to that $150,000 level, to get you to that $100,000 level, $250,000 level. So that is definitely things. When's your next in-person training? Tomorrow? No, when I get back next week, I am going to sit down and I'm going to schedule out some trainings. And so I might even do one with somebody that's pretty well known, Mr. Keith Kelfis. I don't know if I'll do it in Michigan or not, because Michigan's kind of stupid about the whole COVID crap. But I talked to Keith last night, and we're probably going to do some collaboration too. And so that is the thing. And you hear how I'm talking about, these guys I'm talking about are my competitors. They're taking my money, I'm taking their money, whoever taking money. Um, don't look at it that way. And it's not even a bad thing to do it in the pressure washing world. I know Michael from down in central Kentucky is planning to do like a Kentucky get together. And so he's planning on, a bunch of people getting together and doing it from there. Gregory, not too far from me. Awesome. Um, I actually built a little box, a little soft wash box. I haven't took no pictures of it or nothing, and I'm selling it to him. I got about what I got in it is what I'm selling it to you, and so I will be seeing Greg, and I'm gonna probably do a live when I see Greg on Saturday. That's my goal, is to see Gregory on Saturday and getting that box. So, yeah, and you're always going to have haters. We love haters. Haters are awesome. Um, but I'm super excited. Gregory is one of those ones um, that he's a fighter, and he struggled a little bit. He about threw the towel in on one of the jobs. I don't blame him. When I told him to bid it, I told him to bid it high. And now he knows why I said to bid it high. Jason was in my backyard, Nashville, and I didn't see him. Well, we'll probably be down there before the end of this year again. So we're working out some details right now. So we'll see how that goes. Um, we'll see how that goes. How do you contract out work, and how much do you keep for contracting it out? What do you think about soft wash system rigs? Contract workout. I never contracted workout when I had my own business, because I was able to do most of everything that everybody else couldn't do. Apartment building, stuff like that. Um, I would just, I'd be kind of careful, because I've seen a lot of guys get burnt on contracting stuff out. And so I'd just be careful. Make sure it's in writing. Um, Make sure both parties knows what they're getting into. And I would probably have a written agreement, even written up if you have a lawyer, to write it up to make sure that neither one gets butt hurt and everybody understands where everybody's at. The biggest issue is somebody thinks one thing and another person thinks the other thing, and then that's when it goes bad, and that's when you're clustered, and that's not good. Thank you for the super chat. Let me see what that said. Hey Jason, I got a commercial job to quote next week. Guy has 16 8 by 20 dumpster needing cleaned out. They had sludge and mud in them. No idea on how long it will take to clean one. He says 20 minutes per container. He's full of crap. Um, if you got to move all that mud and stuff, you're going to have to scrape all that out, and that'll take you 20 minutes. And where are you dumping that stuff at? And is this going to be a one-time contract, or is this going to be a reoccurring contract? Because I would probably have a one-time clean, and then I would have a monthly reoccurring one. We had like 20 dumpsters there for a while that we were cleaning, and we were going to go all over the country with these people, and it just didn't work out well for us. Just didn't work out well for us because water issues, all kinds of other issues that come up. So I broke a spigot on a job and had to turn off the water in the entire house for the whole day and night. Very embarrassing, but fixed it the next morning. Hey man, it happens. I did it. I broke one. It wouldn't turn off. Put a nozzle on it, and I went and bought all the parts and came back. I just unscrewed my hose off my truck and then did it that way. Um, Oh, asking, let's see. What up, Jason? Good to see you. How do you handle customers questioning a job only taking an hour? I love this question. When they thought it would take all day, I did a house wash and was there an hour. I love that. That is the awesomest, most glorious day of. I paid how you were. Are you sure that's clean? You've only been here 45 minutes. There's no way you could do this job in 45 minutes. You see that one section there? That one section took me 4 hours. Good for you. Hire a professional next time and you won't be there 4 hours. Or so the way the way I handle it is that is right, man. You take you 4 hours with your $400 pressure washer there. I have a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. I don't know what you got in your rig. I have a $30,000 rig sitting there so that I can be fast and efficient, and I make sure that everything is clean. And if you don't believe me, man, we can walk around this house, and we're going to walk around this house because I want to walk around this house with you. And we're going to walk around this house here, and that way you can make sure it's clean to your satisfaction. Because you know what my goal is, man? My goal is for you to give me a 5-star review. That I want this house so clean that you'll want to give me a 5-star review. And then she'll pout around there going around. Some of them will still be like, you make more than doctors and lawyers. Yeah, so I didn't have to pay. I didn't have to pay thousands of dollars for it, you know. I didn't have to pay $100,000 for me to go to doctor school, or $150,000 to go to doctor school to make that kind of money. I paid Jason Geiman's training at pressurewashhealth.com training, and I got certified, and I did this, and that's how I can clean your house faster. So it's all about setting expectations. It's all about it's just about making it, you know. A lot of times people, and we can set these expectations before we ever get there. We can set these expectations from, you know, man, we don't clean with a ladder. We don't need a ladder. You know, someone will be like, well, I ain't got a ladder to get up that high. How you gonna get you're gonna get all the way up there? You're gonna get all the way up there with no ladder? How you gonna do that? Well, I'm gonna do that because I got $10,000 worth of equipment right here that just shoots like a big water gun and shoots right up there. And then I use this stuff called a chemical, and it just cleans like Miracle Grow, baby. It's just magic. I love the magic. Do you all love the magic? I might have to stand up more often. Maybe in my office I'll have to get a stand up. I feel like I can get preaching better on standing up. He also wants me to haul water there too. Since he says such, I'm thinking I might need a hot water pressure washer. If so, I need to rent one. I want to shoot for about $200 an hour, but just wanting some of your thoughts, some of your thought on it. So you will probably need to haul water. We had to haul water with ours. But we could get it at different spigots around the building, but we still had to haul it most of the time. The biggest issue you might have, you're killing me. The biggest issue you'll probably have is getting, if you rent a machine, is to try to get it plumbed from your water tank. You may have to try to hook up a garden hose setting that you can quick connect into it. That will be your hardest issue. Or you could run a 12-volt pump to run it, like a 7-gallon-a-minute one. I think it would probably run it, but that's what you would probably have to do. Finally broke the threshold of making more than $200 an hour this week. Celebrate the wins. Hey, and that's another thing. That's a great point, Greg. A lot of times we don't celebrate the wins. We are like, oh, I want to make $100 an hour. I'm going to go make $100 an hour. Now I want to make $200 an hour. I just made $100. Now I want to make $200 an hour. Well, you just did that. But now I want to do $300 an hour. Can I do $300 an hour? And we never celebrate the wins. And Jason, you are cool, my. If we never celebrate the wins, we never can get to the next level. Because if we don't celebrate the wins and we don't sit there and be like, man, take your wife out on a nice date and celebrate the win. Hey, I broke $200 an hour. That was my goal, and I broke it. I'm going to take a little bit of money and go celebrate that win. Because when we celebrate the wins, it'll mean more to us. Because when you celebrate the wins, maybe you break a $10,000 week. Maybe you do a $10,000 week. Maybe you do a $10,000 month and you never got it the $10,000 month. If we celebrate that win, then it gives us more oomph to try to go to the next level. By the way, how was the rodeo last night? I'll have to put the video up. I didn't hurt my back, which is a good thing, but it was trying to. But we got to celebrate the wins. And, you know, the other thing, so we need to celebrate the wins and we need to learn from our failures. So if you're coming on my podcast, and I want people from my podcast to come on, I want you all to come on my podcast because I got a new question that I'm going to ask. How did you fail and what did you learn from it? Because everybody hears the success stories. Nobody hears the failures that got us to the success stories. I failed before I got to the success stories. I know a lot of people have failed before they get to the success story. And I think when we tell each other our failures and we learn from it, we figured out one or two different things that we learned from our failure, then that right there is a great thing. Hey, Jason, great information. Looking to add pressure washing and add-on service. What is a good 4 GPM starting out? I would probably go ahead and get 5 GPM. You can get them for about $1,700 ish, and it will do you a lot better than that 4. Just an FYI. It'll be a 4,000, 2,500, or a 4,000, 3,000, 5 GPM, 2,500 PSI, or 3,000 PSI, and that is plenty big enough. You don't need 4,000 PSI. But we learn from we celebrate our successes, and we learn from our failures. And that's how if you look at any famous person out there, they will tell you they have learned from their failures. You know, the light bulb. How many times did he fail trying to build a light bulb? How many times did people fail trying to fly a plane? How many times people fail trying to pressure wash? How many times you fail of burning up all those bushes? If we can figure out our failure and we can learn from our failure, we can say, hey, this was a failure. It was a failure on my part. Don't blame people. Don't blame people, because blaming people don't do no good. At the end of the day, we need to train them, and especially if you have employees, you need to train them, and 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 you need to train them, because you can't just say, well, that SOB, he ain't worth crap. He burnt up all my bushes. Well, did you tell him how important it was to water it 10 times? And make sure that he was doing it every time, 10 times, and every time you seen him, that he was watering and not just sitting there going. Because this is what they'll do to you. You're up on the roof, and they're just sitting there like this. And I'd be like, your job is to water, and I don't want to see you quit watering. From the time you get off to the truck, the very first thing you do is you go get water, and until I quit done, and that is the last hose on a roof clean. You water. You cannot water too much today or any day on a roof clean. If you're standing there with your hands in your pocket, you better have that water hose a washing. It's not a failure until you quit. You're absolutely 100% right. Let's get a video or collab with Cody about failures. Maybe tomorrow I will look at that. Maybe I'll be there tomorrow. Maybe that's not a bad. I like the failure thing. Hey, Jason, I'm still in my first year, but I've been using the Gen 3 power wash door, and man, I keep having to fix it in and out, week in and out. What do you think is the best setup to you? Um, if you're going to buy one, I mean, they all can have issues. I'm not going to lie. Um, this is something that if you think you're going to be able to just um, if you think that you can just set up equipment, it's never going to leak, never going to do that. I want to know what kind of equipment that is, because this equipment's going down the road. It's bumping. It's jarring. You know, it's twisting. It's doing all kinds of different things that it's not really designed to do. You know, so any equipment you're going to have to make sure things are tight, that you fix things, all that kind of thing. Um, and at the end of the day, they're all built the same. Whether you go with Power Wash Door, whether you go with Michael Highlander, whether you go with Cody, if you go with AC Lockyer, with soft wash systems, they're all the same thing. At the end of the day, they're hoses and they're valves, and they have Teflon in them, and they have threads, and they all do the same thing. So that's it. Jason just booked, so you must be in Cincinnati. Jason just booked one in Indian Hill today for this weekend, and I have 2 others for this weekend. Super busy, part-time, first year. Thanks for the knowledge. Awesome, Clayton. Uh, Indian Hill's a great place to get into. Network when you're up there. Indian Hill used to be, for the people that don't know what Indian Hill is, it's a spot in Cincinnati, and at one time it used to be like the 9th richest city in the country. Lots of money there. When you drive by there are Section 8 houses, and they put these houses up in 8 different sections. They're so freaking big. The one house, Mr. Lender, he's one of the guys that own Great American Insurance, was building it's like $100 million house or something. It's been 2 years trying to build this house. Gigantic. Any tips for Florida? Yep, go out there and hustle and get it done. There's more technology that goes with pressure pumps. Yeah, some of the newer ones there is. Churchill teach. Oh, I know what I wanted to scroll back up here because somebody said something about right here. I think Central Illinois. I think a couple small failures is good. Makes you learn and teaches you stay vigilant, which can help from making bigger mistakes. Don't get cocky. What? I told you, Nick, I know everything. No, I don't know everything. I'll tell you, I don't know everything. And it's not a bad thing to do. Does your program offer and teach all the particular percentages of SH? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It talks about materials, sales, follow-up, the whole 9 yards. pressurewashhelp.com/training. Any ideas how to how to build a downstream injector? Yep, go buy one. I never rebuilt them. I tried to, and they would never last worth the time of the $15 that it took to do it. $20 with the freaking connectors. That's how I did it, and threw them away. Just built our Predator 8 gallon a minute. Awesome. Churchill. Yep, I read that. Thanks, Gregory. Any tips for Florida? Yeah, it's hot as balls down there. Any thoughts on using calcium hypochlorite? No, do not. AC sure seems to be a fan. Really? I'm surprised because it can leave a white chalky dust on the house. I didn't think he was a fan of it, but he might. Just built 8 gallon a minute. We understand all the components and could repair most of any of it. Yep. Thoughts on using chlorine and Dawn for soft wash? Dawn, don't use, there's one Dawn that says do not use with bleach. You don't have to use Dawn. I would use, um, there's one laundry detergent called like Fabulosis or something like that. It smells really good, and it works good as a surfactant. Have you used chemical metering valves? I have not. I've only used um, the what you call it. Um, oh, and that's something else I'm going to do, and I'm going to do a video on it. I got all the components, and I'm going to build it, and I may sell them. I don't know. I got to see if I can make any money off of them, if it's worth my time. I'm not going to be like the other yahoos and sell them dirt cheap, just because if I got to take time to make it, I'm going to make money off of it. And it is, but I'm going to do a video on how to set it up. So if you want to learn how to, if you want to do one yourself, you'll be able to do it yourself. But I had done one a long time ago. I built one of these, what I'm talking about, but it is a downstream injector remote valve. I built one on my other channel. If you go look up Cincinnati pressure wash, but the valves that I used there were junk. So I actually bought some better valves. They're $100 a piece. The valves themselves are, and they're the banjo valves. And so I'm going to do a two valve one, a two ball valve one. Yeah, Fabulosis is what it's called, and Lemon Scent is the best. I've never used it on house wash. Thanks, man. My phone dying. Check all that. But yeah, mine might be too. I don't know how much battery I got. But again, I'm going to build one, and I'll show you, and I'll break it down step by step. I'm going to try to keep my big fat fingers out of the way and my big fat belly, because I've been getting complaints that they can't see nothing, which I know some of the complaints is because my editor didn't go in close enough. I film stuff in 4K so that I can zoom in and it don't pixelate it. And so I also have a GoPro that I can get a different angle. And so I'm going to try to I am going to build a box, and that way this will be for soft wash systems, or for downstream injector to use your remote, so you don't have to go back and forth to the truck. It has a 300-foot thing on it, and it will work good. So good oxidation siding. I have to fix Saturday. Left some streaking. Any pointers would be awesome. This may be my first mess up. I started business in 2019. I would use, if you got any, if you got Cleanse All BC, you can do it that way. If you got gutter brightener, gutter cleaner, any of that stuff, you got F13, gutter grenade, gutter butter, whatever, any of that stuff. Any of that stuff, you're going to have to brush it on. I would probably take a pump up sprayer, spray it on, kind of rub it a little bit, and then just take it off. Any pointings on removing flake and paint? Yeah, stay away from it, because that stuff sucks. I have Cleanse All BC. Let me know how that stuff works. I've heard good stories and I've heard bad stories about it. I about bought a gallon. So I stopped at the Power Wash store in Nashville and talked to Eddie down there. And I know some guys have talked about having some vendors on here on my live, and I'm going to try to start getting a couple vendors. And then that way they can kind of talk about equipment, different chemicals, all that kind of stuff. I want to try to, that's my goal, is to add as much value for you all as I can. So, would you prefer a truck bed or trailer setup? I can't decide. The truck bed. I hate pulling trailers. I've got in some bad spots before where I had to back a long way up with a trailer. And I mean, I'm okay at backing trailers up, but it sucks. Any pointers on removing flake and paint? Burn it down to the ground. No, I don't know what's the best way. Hey, Jason, do you know anything about TSP? Heard it works good as SH. Back in the day, on the forum days, they used to talk about that stuff all the time. I don't know a whole lot about it, honestly. We never used it. I keep it simple. Bleach, and more bleach. It cleans it. That cleans everything. Don't do what Don't use Cleansol BC on aluminum siding. Remember those mistakes we were just talking about? Trust me. That's Mr. Nick. He had a job that he thought he was gonna make him a lot of money. And it ended up being really sucky for him. It ended up being a 2-day job and making no money at all. Um, how important is a name when starting a power washing business? I'm thinking about All American Power Washing, but someone else said it sounded too cocky. It's already been out there. There's already somebody named that. Um, One thing I would tell you about naming a website is try to find a website that you can find that's an easy name for your website. Um, that's a lot of words. All American Pressure Washing. If you can find something that's short and sweet and people know what it is, that will help. Best place I go to check to see if the domains are being used yet or not. And I don't buy them from this place, but I will always I always go there to check. Told Mr. Rush today. What did he say? Jason, probably. Um, uh, what? Shoot. Where was I going? Oh, I would go and try to. I would go and try GoDaddy. I always use GoDaddy, and that way I can go. It's GoDaddy's the easiest to see if that web address is available, and then I go from there. And then I try to find something that's easier or stuff like that. The mom uses bleach to clean up its good store. And that's another thing too. Is if there's maybe two different names you might want it, buy both of them. Web addresses aren't that expensive, and just buy them both. If you cancel it, you cancel it. They're $15. If you go to, I buy mine at namecheap.com, and that's where I get mine. I bet Bobby said GoDaddy to that bull. I think there's some video out about Bobby, and I might have filmed it. Um, it's a little questionable. Um, it was funny. It was pretty funny. Let's just put on there that there was two dudes on one bull. There was three bulls on one ride. Let's just put it that way. He didn't argue. Yeah, let's just put that there was three bulls on one ride. It was pretty funny. I was rolling. Um, yeah. I think I deleted all my pictures. I might put a picture up of that from last night. And I'll definitely, if y'all want me to, I'll put up my bull riding one. It was a lot of fun. I had a good time. Learned a lot. Like I say, don't ever stop learning, guys. That's what I really want you to learn out of this more than anything. I bet Aaron was a power bottom position. No, Aaron wasn't involved. He rode the bull himself. Actually, Ricky Tommy rode the bull. But he wasn't there. But again, don't stop learning, guys. Don't think you know it all. And when you think you know it all, try to learn something new. Try to, and you don't have to know everything about pressure washing. You don't have to know everything about pressure washing. You don't have to know everything about marketing, but you need to try to learn as much as you can and really get it to the next level. That's how we can grow our business. Would you charge for the same price for brick home as you would a vinyl siding? Absolutely. Well, it depends on how bad it is. If it's bad, then I might charge a little bit more because I'm going to have to use a stronger bleach. If it's not bad, then yeah, I charge the same. Do you have to worry about over chlorinating pools with soft wash around them? I try to keep it out of it. You can stop learning when you're dead. Absolutely. 100%. Arkansas, you don't stop learning. Have fun at the class. You deserve it. Tomorrow's going to be fun. How has COVID affect your business? Anyone for that matter? My business has been very good. And the pressure washing business as a whole hasn't been terrible. I know several startups that have, in fact, I think it's hurt the bigger guys that has the small guys. And this is why it's hurt the bigger guys, because their phone's not ringing either. And when you got 4 trucks and you got all this equipment and you've been buying and you're just trying to grow, and then the next thing you know, the freaking wheels get knocked out from under you, then you got to really, you got to sit and get rid of stuff and scale back down, and that's harder than when you're a new guy and you're trying to go the other way. So I said this from the very beginning. You may see some new guys come up and do better, and we might see some big guys come down and go away. Because honestly, when this happens, and if you wasn't prepared and you had a bunch of debt and you just screwed up, it can really hurt you. You ain't going to over-chlorinate a pool, no. But yeah, I definitely think that a big guy will get hurt more than a small guy could get hurt here. And there's enough money in this business. I mean, I know guys that have done very well, very, very, very well. Very well. I'm calling out sick tomorrow. I hear you. What do you think of marketing via radio, ads, or print marketing? Just did a $3,500 job in my second month in business, making a downstream bed. I'm just doing it so that way I can get people to aggravate you, and I'll eventually send you the link. Just did a $3,500 job in my second month in business. What are 2 or 3 things I can do to get to $5,000 or $10,000 a month? Keep marketing and keep getting it. Lean and mean is a good business model during the coronavirus. So that is if you're going to want to be $103,000 last 3 months. Now that is freaking amazing, Bernie. That is awesome, and it can be done. There's some videos out there that say you 30,000. It can definitely be done. How do you find the owners of strip malls and parking garages? Google Ads or Facebook on Christine. I think that was Christina, wasn't it? Christian. On that, I would use email marketing, and then I would also use LinkedIn. Those are the 2 that I would use for what you just asked about parking garage, strip malls, and also strip mall. So you can do like BOMA's one, BOMA is a good .org, I believe it is a contractor site, and it's building maintenance is what it is, and it is definitely that. It's already sold. Google ads or Facebook, I've never had luck with Facebook ads. Never had luck. You're fine. Big guy or small guy, COVID or no COVID, this is my market, and I'm going to dominate the hell out of it. It's all about attitude. You're absolutely right. And I think this kind of goes back to what I was saying before. A lot of times we get comfortable. We get to $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, and we get comfortable. And we're like, man, I'm making $10,000 a month. I don't want to be that big guy. And you don't have to be that big guy. But eventually, if we're not growing, we're dying. And now, we need to grow $30,000, $100,000 a year? No. Can we grow, as long as we're adding that positive, then yes. But if we're not growing, we're dying. And so that is definitely one of those things that we need to make sure that we are pushing it. It's already sold. Oh, Cody, what's the tax on $13,000 skid? Is it sold out, Cody? What's the beauty of owning? That's the beauty of owning your own business. And it is the beauty of owning your own business. We can make it as big as we want, or we can make it as most profitable, and I do all the work, and here's the deal, guys, and I'm going to be real upfront with this. If you have a small business and it's just you and maybe a helper. Maybe it's just you. At the end of the day, you will probably make more money that way than you will at $100,000 business. Because when we grow it, guess what else grows? Just because our growth gets up here, guess what else grows? All our expenses grow. And if we're just worried about this top number and we're not worried about this number down here, which is our profit number, and if our profit is way down here, but we did $1,000,000, but we only made $100 in profit, it don't matter what you make. If we can get this profit number right here, and this number is 150,000, like Jeremy from Indiana, who I had on, 150,000 right here, and his profit margin is right around 120. You know, he's bringing in $120,000. I would much rather do that than have $1,000,000 business and still only be right here at $100,000. Because guess what happens when we get up here? Guess what happens when we get way up here? We get more headaches. The headaches are just awesome at that point. We got to deal with employees calling in sick. We get to deal with employee insurance, all the great stuff that goes along with a huge business. Can you line up work without having the insurance until you get the job for starting a business? Absolutely, you can. Absolutely. Let's be up front. I started mine for more time not to be a millionaire. And that's, that goes back to another great point. What is your why? What is your why to start your own business? Is it to have more time at home? Is it to have more time with family? Is it to have financial freedom? Because that's what I'm trying to teach you all, is how to get financial freedom, how to get time savings, how to have more time with your family. At the end of the day, that's what it really comes down to. We can work all we want, but at the end of the day, if we're just working 100 hours and at the end of the day we're only making $10 an hour, like I say, we can go work at McDonald's and make 15 and make $30,000 in a year, and it's air conditioned in the summertime and it's heated in the wintertime. So make sure our bottom number is profitable. If our bottom number is not profitable, that is when we have issues. That is when we have issues. When our bottom number is not profitable. It don't matter if we make $500,000. It don't matter if we make $100 million. If our profit on margin is at nothing, it does us no good at all. Zero, zilch. Like I say, Jeremy from nowhere, Indiana, Connorsville, Indiana, nowhere's Indiana, does $150,000 a year and brings in and pockets about $120,000 of that money. That's a pretty damn good business model. My business is me and my wife. I have one guy who is a 1099 sub, contractor, cheaper. That way allows him to make more money and save me money. Yep. What do you do? What do you trust with your email marketing? What do you trust with your email marketing? I don't know what you mean by that. It's all about the net profit margin. Yep. And actually, I think I'm going to have a buddy of mine here talking more about bookkeeping and that. You can work with the no liability insurance. Be careful and have to set up pay for mistakes. Some folks don't care. Some do. As long as you don't have nothing that's worth anything, then go for it. If you have some stuff that you don't want to get sued and lose, then be careful. All right, guys. Anybody coming tomorrow, I will see you in the great state of Alabama. Yes, also no debt is a plus. That is 100%. Because at the end of the day, if we have a bunch of debt and the economy tanks, that debt don't go away. That debt don't go away. It's still there. It's still there. It's still going to haunt you. I will be in Alabama tomorrow. I'll probably do a live sometime tomorrow with Mr. Cody, and we will probably have a good time of doing that. And I will Again, if you want to learn more about pressure washing, go check out pressurewashhelp.com/training. That's a good place to start. And that way you can figure out. I do have a Zoom call. I am planning on doing the Zoom call on Sunday night. Originally, I wasn't planning on it, but I haven't put no information out about it because I don't know if other than this video, I will try to send an email out Sunday. But I'm going to plan on doing a Zoom Sunday night at 7 o'clock, as long as I get home by 7 o'clock. We're actually driving in the rest of the way on Sunday night. We're going to drive halfway home tomorrow and then drive the rest of it the next day. So, again, go check out pressurewashhelp.com/training. And if you're at Alabama tomorrow, I'll see you there.